Today on Almost Authentic Gringa, I'm making seared scallops with a chili lime sauce. It can be as spicy or as easy as you want it, and I'm going to teach you how to sear them, and the whole meal only takes 10 minutes. For these spicy scallops, here's what you'll need. We're going to start with our sauce, and for that we're going to cut up a shallot and a serrano pepper. Now a shallot is really just a milder onion that kind of has a little bit of a garlicky taste. It looks a little bit like this. Sometimes there's two halves to it, and you can find it right next to the onions and potatoes in your grocery store. So let's cut that up. The shallot is a really mild onion, so anyone in your family who doesn't like onions, this would be a good place to start. It kind of melts into salad dressings and sauces and isn't quite as bold as an onion. Now, talk about bold, we're going to cut up our serrano pepper. Now, if you like things spicy, you should leave the seed and the ribs in place. But if you'd like it a little bit milder, you can either try an jalapeno or make sure you take all the seeds and ribs out of this pepper. In my family, we take them out. Okay, so I'm going to cut this up. And I want it to be pretty small because I want it to kind of blend into the sauce. So I'm really going to dice it small. And I think that'll be enough for what I want to do. Okay, so onto our scallops. We want to make sure that after we've rinsed them, that we really pat them dry. So I have some paper towels here. When you want to get a good sear, you want it really dry because water will cause you not to get a good sear. Okay, we're going to salt and pepper. Make sure they're seasoned well. Scallops are a very tender fish. They don't have a lot of flavor on their own. It depends on what you add to them is how they taste. So now we're going to put them on the pan and get them searing. I'm using my cast iron pan, and I'm also using butter and olive oil. That's because we're using high heat, and the mixture of the two deals really well with the high heat. The reason we're using such a high heat is that scallops are a very tender fish, and it needs to be able to cook quickly without overcooking. So that's why we're using such a high heat. And in just a second, I'm going to put these in. I'm going to put them in seasoned side down so that we can season up the other side. There we go. Now these should cook for about 1.5 to 2 minutes per side, but we're going to let the scallops tell us when they're ready, and this is my trick. Once they're in there, you don't want to touch them. You don't want to mess with them. You want to leave them be. And they're going to tell you when they're ready. When they move, when they're movable, that's when you can flip them. Okay, if I were to touch this right now, it doesn't want to move. It's kind of sticking to the pan, and if I were to try to flip it, it would rip it, and I don't want to do that. So I want to wait and let it tell me when it's ready. I'm also going to season up the other side of these scallops. Look at that nice brown sear we got on there. That's gorgeous. Oh, they're lifting right up out of the pan, which means they're ready. Beautiful. We did a good job. So I'm going to let that go for another minute on that side, and then I'm going to add in my shallots and my peppers and the rest of the butter. All right, and now I'm going to squeeze in the lime juice of 1 lime. Get that on the scallops. Fish loves citrus, so it's a really good marriage. All right. I'm going to pull those scallops out so they don't overcook. And then we'll let the sauce reduce on its own just a little bit. Let those flavors of that serrano pepper and the shallot get into that butter. So I'm going to taste the seared scallop with my chili lime sauce. But later on in another video, I'm going to show you how to make this the centerpiece of a very romantic dinner. But first I'm going to zest a little bit of lime over it because those are the flavors we used. And I'm going to, of course, add in my sauce and give it a taste. Scallops are one of my favorite foods, so I'm looking forward to this. It's buttery and you can taste the lime, and that chili just gives you a little poke. Very good. Make sure you join us at almostauthenticgringa.com, where we're fresh, organic, and easy, and we're easy with the recipes. Thanks.